and welcome back to the Shaanah Montana YouTube channel, and we are here for the fifth and final installment of the You're Distracted series. And today we are going to talk about sustainable practices for a distraction-free future. And what it really boils down to is us breaking down the things that we've talked about over the course of this series to give you the tools that you need to walk away with to make sure that you stay distraction-free in 2024. You know that you can come back to this series at any time that you need it, but making sure that you understand the power to achieve those goals that you did not achieve in 2023, to achieve them right now in 2024 is absolutely up to who? It is up to you. So first and foremost, I want you to just make sure that you understand what are your distractions. What are the things that you were able to identify? Was it social media? Was it devices? Was it people? Was it alcohol? Was it lack of rest? Was it lack of focus? Whatever it was, I want you to understand what were your distractions in this past year that you have identified that you know you have to keep a handle on in 2024 in order for you to go off into the sunset and see success the way that you know you are capable of. You know, we understand the negative side effects of not knowing what our distractions are. And we understand the other side of knowing what our distractions are and still not doing anything about it. So being able to know what your distractions are, using that journal to keep up with those distractions, to know what's working for me, what's not, what's distracting me that may be new, what's distracting me that may be old, what do I need to go left and continue to move forward. We have to keep those things in the forefront. So that's the first thing. Understanding what your distractions are. The next thing is going to be really just understanding the power of mindfulness and your mindset. Again, I'm going to continue to preach about the book Atomic Habits because it's so great when it comes to focusing on the systems that you need to break those bad habits and to have the right mindset to identify as the person that you want to become and the person you know you're capable of being. But you have to figure out what it's going to take for you to stay focused on the goals you have at hand by being mindful of those things and being hyper aware of what your mindset is at all times, because ultimately to achieve any goal, it is going to come down to, you know, what do we think of that goal? How important is that goal? What are we doing every single day to consistently work towards that goal and to keep a clear path towards that goal going? We have to make sure our mindset stays in the right place. The next thing is going to be making sure that you keep a distraction-free workplace and home. We know many of us work from home, and we've talked about that on the other episode, making sure that you also have a separation. You know, if you have a room that you work in, make that your room that you work in. If you have a room that you operate your business from, make sure you have a room that you operate your business from to separate those things so that the lines don't blur. But if you don't have enough space to have a different room for everything, what the Atomic Habits book says is that, you know, you may have it where this is my chair. When I sit in this chair, I'm doing my work for my corporate 9 to 5. When I sit in this chair in my kitchen or I use this computer, this is for my entrepreneur business outside of the 9 to 5. This may be when I wear these out, when I wear these clothes, these are meant for only for me to work out in, not for me to lounge around the house in. So making sure that you're able to design a distraction-free workplace and home by having a separation of church and state. Certain things have certain uses, and those certain uses are only to continuously propel us forward to the place of success that we know we are capable of. And then just making sure that you keep your zones clutter-free, keep it from being messy, keep it from being, you know, unclean or not neat in a space where you cannot focus because you have so much clutter around you. They call it spring cleaning for a reason. Get started now if you need to. Get those, you know, did you never flip your closet? Like right now we're in the dead of winter. If you go look in your closet right now, you go look on the chair in your room right now, do you have like a halter top or a tank top or something sleeveless hanging across that chair because you never flipped your closet from summer to winter and you got other stuff lying around that you need to get rid of because you have not made sure that your room and your home and your living room and every space that you're going to be interacting in your life, your car, is clear and free of distractions, which are things that can clutter your mind as they clutter your workspace. So you have to make sure that you stay on top of those things. The next thing is going to make sure that you consistently Keep your established goals and priorities in front of you, and that you remain clear about those. And you all know I'm going to continuously say the number one way to remain consistent and clear about what your goals are is through the power of journaling, and making sure that you are journaling every single day the things that you are working on, and having a separation of what your journals are for. And I have a few right here as I'm always going to call out. So if this is my journal, my Master Manifestor journal, this is the journal where I write out the goals and dreams and hopes that I have for the future, that I want to accomplish over the course of the entire year. My Manifesting Millions journal. This may be a journal where I put for my plans right now that are dealing with my entrepreneur business. So anything, a new business that I'm starting, this may be exactly what this is for. And then the blueprint, this may be for my creative outlet. This may be where I write my poetry. This may be where I write my rhymes, whatever you want to put in it. But this also could be a place where you also discover what new dreams, hopes, and goals that you have for the future that you're going to write in. So make everything have its own destination in its own place, but keep whatever those goals and priorities are. The separation of church and state. You know, you can have a journal that these are for my relationship goals. These are for my entrepreneur goals. These are for my spiritual goals. You know, whatever the case is, have a place that you are able to keep that goal and that priority right there in front of you, and keep it as a focus, and make sure you're able to consistently point out what is the significance of those goals. Why are those goals important? Why are they goals for 2024? What stopped me from, meeting these goals in 2023, and what is going to make sure that I stay on track with these goals in 2024? I think that's the biggest part of it all, is being able to establish what those goals are, keep them as the priority of the front, in the forefront, and make sure that if you find yourself to get distracted, you figure out what is that distraction so I can quickly remove it. The next thing is going to be your digital detox, and making sure that you recognize the power and the stronghold that these technical tools have over us. So if you are in a position where Facebook got me in a chokehold, Instagram got me in a chokehold, this phone got me in a chokehold, make sure you are setting those limits we talked about. Make sure that you have certain parameters in place where you may work in one room, that phone may be in another room. You give yourself a certain time of day to be on that phone. You give yourself a certain time of day to work on your business. Whatever the goals are that you have, do not allow yourself to become a victim of the digital tools that we have and have them take over the progress and the goals that you are working towards, because they have you in such a chokehold that they have you completely distracted. And we know that that is like the number one distraction across the board. So don't allow these digital tools to take over your spirit. Now, another thing is going to be time management techniques, making sure, you all know this, using our time wisely. Like right now, I was saying earlier, I'm up late recording tonight. It's not because I didn't manage my time, but this is the way my day was set up. This is the time that I had to do it. I'm going to be going to bed later tonight than normal, but it's okay because tomorrow I'll be able to get back on track. I knew that tonight, Monday, I had a long day. I'm going to be up a little bit later to take care of the business of the goals that I have, but tomorrow and the rest of the week, I'll be on track. But I had to do this tonight. So being able to understand, I have to manage my time wisely. Yes, we don't want to have to work on all of our goals and all of the sometimes boring stuff every weekend, but some weekends, that's what it's going to take. Some weekends, you're going to have to do you, and you're going to have to be working on the goals and the things that you have going on if you want to see yourself accomplish them. And then one of the last things is just making sure that you are building consistent habits so that you can overcome any challenges that you may face, and so that you can remain motivated. At the end of the day, the motivation and the willpower, like we talked about, is going to be there, but it's also going to be making sure you have certain systems in place so that the habits that you have can formulate and roll out as you need them to because of the systems that you have. But understanding that there has to be a motivation there in the beginning, but there also has to be an internal drive for you to see the results that you want to see, and knowing that you're going to have those consistent habits in place of the journaling, of working towards those things every single day, of getting clarity around the goals that you have. If you're able to do those things, you absolutely can see success. So know that in 2024, it's up to you to make sure that you stay on top of whatever had you distracted before, to make sure that it does not distract you this year, that you consistently identify those things, because there are always going to be distractions that are going to be coming up. It's always going to be somebody trying to hit you with a 1-2 punch to knock you out the way of trying to meet those goals. But at the end of the day, you are capable of meeting every single goal that you have. But are you willing? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to put the effort in? Are you willing to show up in the biggest and best capacity that you are fully capable of? Or are you going to let another year pass you by? Because the time going to go by anyway. You might as well do something positive with it. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this series the way that I have. I hope that you all come back to this as you need to. Make sure you share this with your family, friends across the board. You like and subscribe. Link below, you have the links, of course, to the Shaanah Montanna Journal, Shaanah Montanna Journals. Of course, below you have the links to the Shaanah Montanna Journals, to the book Atomic Habits. If you did not get it, make sure you get it. And your homework for this episode is to just be great. Accomplish those goals. Do what you said you were going to do. What B say? Don't talk about it. Be about it. And we going to see. I'm going to be checking in with y'all to see what y'all doing. And I hope you doing what you say you doing. Signing off, yours truly, Shaanah Montanna.